Today's news. Journalists to hold hunger strike in support of Ainullah Fatullayev. Hajiyev's trial kicks off with dismissal of defendant motions. Nemat Panaluh's trial underway. Two-day Freedom of Expression seminar begins in Baku. Twenty leading Azerbaijani journalists will hold a one-day hunger strike on April 20th in support of Ainullah Fatullayev, the imprisoned editor-in-chief of Gündelik Azerbaijan and Rilni Azerbaijan newspapers. Namely, April 20th marks the 4th anniversary of Fatullayev's arrest, Javahat Jopanoglu, editor at Gündelik Azerbaijan, said. According to Jopanoglu, April 22nd will mark the first anniversary of the European Court of Human Rights decision on Fatullayev's release. He is recognized by the international organizations as a prisoner of conscience. Fatullayev was arrested on April 20th, 2007, under the decision by the Asmal District Court. The journalist was blamed for insulting Khojalı residents in his articles and sentenced to 2.5 years in jail. Later he was charged with Articles 214.2, threatening terror, 283.2.2, incitement of ethnic, national, social, or religious hatred, abusing authority, and 213.2.2, gross tax evasion of the Criminal Code. He was finally sentenced to 8.5 years in prison on the 30th of October 2007 by the Grave Crimes Court. On the 29th of December 2009, narcotics were repeatedly found on Fatullayev in prison number 12, and Fatullayev was found guilty under Article 234.1, illegal possession of narcotics in an amount exceeding the limit for personal consumption of the Criminal Code. He was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months in prison. Today, the Ganja Nizami District Court held a trial on the criminal case launched against youth activist Bakhtiar Hajiyev, charged with dodging military service. Hajiyev's attorney Intigam Aliyev told Objective TV. Aliyev said that besides him, the defendant's other attorney, Elchin Namazov, defendant Bakhtiar Hajiyev, and public prosecutor Alexei Abbasov attended the hearing. Hajiyev's attorneys filed motions requesting permission for journalists to film the trial, terminate the case, and replace the detention sentence with release on bail. Public prosecutor Abbasov protested against the motions. The judge did not grant any of the motions. Aliyev stated that they have filed an appeal against the court staff. Due to this appeal, the judge rescheduled the hearing to April 20th. The criminal case against Bakhtiar Hajiyev was launched in the end of January 2011. At that time, he signed a statement of commitment not to leave the Ganja city. In the end of February, his pretrial detention was replaced with release under police control. On March 4, 2011, Hajiyev was sentenced to 1 month of pretrial detention. It is widely thought that Hajiyev was arrested for his activity on social networking sites and his support of the March 11th Great People's Day campaign. Today, the Nasimi District Court held a preliminary trial in the criminal case launched against the Azerbaijani National Statehood Chairman Nemat Panaluh and his friend Ceyhun Farzullayev. Judge Elman Ahmadov chaired the hearing. Panaluh's attorney Samir Isayev, Farzulayev's attorney Elchin Aliyev, and public prosecutor Asad Ramazanov were in attendance. Isayev filed a motion requiring the annulment of the pretrial detention of Nemat Panaluh, permission for journalists to film the hearing, in consideration of the fact that his defendant is a socio-political figure. Public prosecutor Ramazanov requested the court to dismiss the motion. After deliberation, the judge decided to reject the motions. Citing it was a preliminary hearing, he announced that the motion regarding the permission for the journalists will be considered in the next hearing. He scheduled the next hearing to May 3, 2011. The journalists that wanted to watch the hearing were told that the hearing was not open to the public and were expelled from the building. Nemat Panaluh, chairman of the Azerbaijan National Statehood Party, was arrested under charges brought by citizen Eldar Razayev. The criminal case has been brought against both men under Article 221.3 of the Criminal Code, hooliganism committed with a weapon. If he is found guilty, Panaluh could face 5 years in prison. Panaluh's supporters claim that the real reason behind his arrest is his journalistic activity. He wrote a number of articles criticizing the government, published in various press outlets, including the Nota PS. A 2-day seminar dedicated to the Article 10 of the European Convention was kicked off today. The seminar covered fundamental human rights and freedoms. It was arranged by the Media Rights Institute with support from the European Union and Council of Europe. Media Rights Institute Director Rashid Hajili made a keynote speech where he spoke about freedom of expression problems in Azerbaijan. He covered the launch of multiple lawsuits against journalists and the prosecution of journalists for defamation. At the seminar, Issues in the mass media sphere, including the limited advertising markets and criminal prosecution under the defamation charge, were discussed. The Press Council and the OSCE Baku office are preparing a draft law on the defamation which implies the annulment of punishment for insult and libel. The draft law will be submitted to Parliament. The Council of Europe Baku office head, Konstantin Yerkolostopoulos, said that the current seminar is aimed at enhancing the skills of the participants on the implementation of the European Convention Article 10. Council of Europe Media Department representative Leila Derisavic noted that the seminar is focused on increasing professionalism in the mass media and developing pluralistic media in Azerbaijan. In the first part of the seminar, Austrian lawyer Albrecht Haller spoke about the European Court of Human Rights decisions passed with regard to Article 10. Parliamentarian Vasil Mustayev then spoke about the compliance of Azerbaijan's freedom of expression legislation with European standards. French lawyer Frédéric Gras spoke about the European Court of Human Rights decisions on defamation and criticism. In the second part of the seminar, Media Rights Institute director Rashid Hajili discussed Azerbaijan's freedom of expression legislation and local court practices.